are we doing?
Wonderful.
So I have a few words, and I'm just ecstatic to see you all out here today. You just do not know how much you have made my day. I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd, which is great. I see some faces I haven't seen in a while, and I'm going to try to get through and acknowledge as many people as I can without forgetting. So I wrote it down. So forgive me for looking down. Okay, so let me tell you first of all by starting out how important this day is to me. On this day in 2017, I started a whole new career. Retired from the military in 2015, took a job, and started a whole new career in 2017. Fast forward 1 year later, I have moved to Columbus, Georgia. I have began my work in the community and was recognized by then Mayor of Columbus, Georgia, Teresa Thomason, with a special proclamation for bringing new events and scholarship fundraisers to the city. Now, you already know that event is, so I want to mention that. But fast forward another 3 years, and I would meet a young lady who would someday become Mrs. Marsh. Now, she likes to hear Mrs. Marsh, so I can never say that enough. And as a matter of fact, I got something for her today. So her and I share a lot of similar things, and one of which is having a military background. And sometimes in the military culture of the community, when there's a change in command, the outgoing First Lady receives a bouquet of flowers to signify full bloom and growth. And so, in like mine, I would like to say, Mrs. Marsh, I just want to say thank you so much for being, first of all, an absolutely amazing person, but also being a great partner in life, and I can't thank you enough. All right, now let me talk about the importance of today. That was 2021. But let me talk about today, and let me put a pin in that for just a moment, and I promise to come back to it. Let me first now go to acknowledge a few people that made today possible and everything great. First of all, I want to thank Reverend Bo Barber for accepting our invitation to give our opening words. Sir, I really applaud the community work that we have done together and those that you lead yourself. And I just cannot thank you enough for having people like that to work with, to reach out to, and that's doing positive things that enrich our community. Okay? Glad to see my members of Allen Temple AME Church. Wave at me, church member, okay? Good to see you all. Definitely got to shout out the coldest men in the room, members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity. I do have a story to share about the men of Alpha. I want to thank them for coming. If there are any past or current elected officials, I just want to make sure that I shout you out. Okay, just want to make sure. There were some members of my crime prevention committee that I thought might attend tonight. So if they walk in, I just wanted to be on record saying I acknowledge them, as well as anyone from the Columbus Airport Commission. I want to make sure that I acknowledge them as well. So thank you all for those who made today possible. And I also want to thank my committee, team members, who made literally transform this space, which is the actual business that I launched, Fountain City Parade Float Rentals. And it does not look like this any other time. But in one weekend, they transformed this space into this place. And I cannot be ever thankful for them. Michelle for being a battle buddy, a colleague, and turned friend. Josette for being a fellow colleague. Her and I worked together at Martin Army Hospital. And of course, Mrs. Marsh, see why she's smiling. Mrs. Marsh for being an absolutely amazing life partner. Okay, and I would be remiss if I didn't include some businesses that helped me make today possible. 4 Ella After Floors and Decorations for the pipe and drape. They give it the eloquence. Hooked Up Creations, that is in the back serving the beverages. please make sure you take something. Okay, it's already paid for. I want to thank Selena Coleman, Professional Cleaning, for making sure that the place smells fresh and whatnot. Mr. John Austin, he just did some work this morning, and it doesn't even look like somebody working there this morning. And I also want to thank Columbus Police Department for gracing us with our security and comfort for us being here tonight. Now, I told you that I would return to the importance of today, and I plan to hold my promise. Ladies and gentlemen, I have lived in the majority of my life in service. The first part of my life in uniform, serving in the United States Army. 20 years, 20 days, 9 hours, 15 minutes, and 11 seconds. And no, I wasn't counting. But over those 20 years, over those days, I would learn how to work with others, people who don't look like me, people who don't come from places that I come from. I learned how to lead projects, how to plan, how to organize, resolve personnel and organizational issues, manage people. And I tell you, that's the biggest challenge that I've ever faced. Advise senior leadership on critical issues that impact a large number of people. Now, in the second part of my life, I have given all that I can since retiring and moving here to Columbus, Georgia. And this is the story I want to share about my first experience in Columbus, Georgia. I was living in El Paso at the time. Now, I'm from Alabama, Mobile, Alabama. Okay, that's right. And never lived in El Paso, but I lived there for 5 years. I learned to get through it. But now it is time for me to transition. So, at the time, I reached out to the men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. It was in the month of November, December. And I want to personally thank Mr. Oz Robert, who was the person who responded to my email and call at the time, invited me to the fraternity's Founders Day celebration. First weekend here. I had not even moved into my house. My car was not even here yet. I was riding my motorcycle in December from place to place. But the men of Alpha accepted me, brought me in, gave me an opportunity to serve, and I will later be proud to serve for 2 years as the chapter's vice president. Since that first weekend in Columbus, Georgia, I have been active and engaged in any way possible that would improve the community for those around me. After all, it was at the least I can do for a city and community and group of people that embraced me and offered so much. Columbus is where I chose my forever community, where I chose to serve, currently serving as the Fort Benning liaison to the Columbus Crime Prevention Committee. Columbus is also where I brought a new entertainment attraction to the city, not by myself, but with the help of others. Several of them are here today in the form of Mardi Gras that you all probably recognize me more for. New and never known to the area, that venture led to me opening up my own business in the space that you find yourself right now, the Fountain City Parade Float Rental. Columbus is absolutely amazing. Our people, diverse. Our economy, constantly rising, growing, and evolving. Our community, complex, but unique. The city's legislative power lay with the city council. And while I have not ever served as a city councilor before, I have led every aspect of leading community engagement by way of voter engagement, voter education, and voter turnout. Especially from our younger adults, the kids in high school. It is imperative our community immerse themselves in decisions that impact our day-to-day way of life, which leads me to ask of you today, You have supported me in the community, engagement, involvement, and I ask that you support me once more to be seated on our city councils. Columbus is where I committed myself, my life, where I committed to purchasing my home, where I would meet and marry my wife. This is Marsh. And Columbus is where I further commit today. The importance of the role of City Council is to make the lives of its residents easier, to be a conduit between government and the people. The vision in my mind, at least, is to make it easier, better for people living in Columbus, Georgia. There may be others who also seek this position, and I think it's absolutely amazing when other residents step up into the light of leadership. In my lifetime experience of applying for jobs, it was always important to highlight to the qualities that, to the hiring manager, the qualities that you have. As residents of Columbus, you are the hiring manager. You conduct this by way of vote on election day. You are the employer. And when early voting starts in exactly 399 days from now, no, I wasn't counting. You, the residents, are the only person who get to select who is the best candidate for this position. In the coming days, weeks, and months, I plan to share the qualities that I believe I have that make me qualified and best fit for the position. Our campaign slogan, appropriately titled, Committed to Columbus, will be our focus. I plan to engage with as many citizens as I possibly can and be open to dialogue and discussion, anything that betters the lives of fellow Columbus residents. You have already heard from our campaign manager, Ms. Michelle. If you are interested in engaging and being part of the campaign, reach out to her. You have already heard from our treasurer. If you would like to donate or make a contribution to our campaign, there are several QR codes located throughout the facility where you can make a special donation. We have titled our donation for today, Committed to 2024, but feel free to make any donation that you wish to. It will be gladly appreciated. Sorry, looking at notes. If you need to reach out to our campaign for questions, interviews, or event attendance, Mrs. Marsh is dual and very talented, dual-hatted. She is serving as our public affairs as well as our director of education. If you need more information, if you want more information, I'm going to be available, but we also offer and invite you to visit the website, voteforrockymarsh.org, or follow any of the social media platforms, also at Vote for Rocky Marsh. Now, in my final words, before we dismiss, after which I would like to meet you all in the foyer to take a picture, to shake your hand. Thank you for attending. I want to close by saying this. Get registered and get ready to vote. But even if you don't vote for me, at least you can. Wish me well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's announcement. If you will, please visit Dr. Marsh out in the foyer, where you can read him and you can give donations as well. Thank you all so much for being here tonight.